go.
So, we are going to be talking about the art of remixing and the use of samples within a certain remix. Remixing is kind of more from the electronic area of music. It's a culture related to remixing, which is dubstep, hip hop. It all kind of comes from hip hop. Where they first started from. Jam Master Jay, Grandmaster Flash, Mixmaster Mike, and they kind of went in, one size reduced samples. Some of them they used by themselves, some of them people take from other people. Skrillex was very famous for using the Oh My God from a YouTube video. He used that with whether that had any bearing on his popularity, I don't know. And Jack Conte, who kind of just saw everything around him and used it into his own visual art, and he created this track, which was just a bit of a mashup of it.
As you saw in the videos, like what we decided to do is we took the main video and broke it down so like all the vocal parts, like you had Technologic by Daft Punk, Rock and Roll by Skrillex, Hard Western from Daft Punk again, Weekend Skrillex. And I divided, also found out where he took each sample from. And from that, like went to Daft Punk and so how Daft Punk's taking it's the bass in and around the world. I'm not sure if you took it from Sugar Hill Gang, Rapper's Delight or Sheets, Good Times. Then we've got like with Daft Punk, Kanye West uses bloody Hard Stronger, and then through that he uses Ray Charles, I Got a Woman, Massey's Another Story to Tell, and Fun the Line by Bum Bust Off. Then for the other side with Skrillex, like in his Braid and Sway, so it's bits from a Jim Morrison interview as well as The Doors' Is Like My Fire. It's just like a quick breakdown of what they like sampling.
In a bit, I'm going to talk about how, because obviously people remix and they don't do it particularly legally, so I'll be talking about how you do it legally. But people like Gary Newman, for example, do sort of things on their websites where you can access the stems to remix. So it sounds like it's all fun and legal, but if you read the small print, it says stuff like your license is a non-exclusive limited license. You can't use the stems after, say, a week, if the competition's a week. You don't own the remix, you get no payment for it. All rights have to be assigned to Gary Newman's label. You get no credit for the track itself, so if you spend like months remixing it, putting it in a competition, if they decide to use it on their CD, you wouldn't actually get credited for the remix. You have to waive all your rights to it. And you have to grant the label full exploitation. So they could change it, they could literally make a remix you didn't even make out of your remix, and you have no say in it. and if you broke them conditions, you'd end up paying them, and you wouldn't get paid for it in the first place. So it's not always a good thing.
This kind of all falls under the narrative works area of copyright, which is basically, it's based upon someone's work, and they put it, and they do it into a different format. So, as an example, even though it's not musical, it was Art Rogers and Def Coons, who Art Rogers took a photo of a couple with 8 dogs, and Jeff Koons decided that he would do a sculpture of it. But the way he did it, it kind of falls under the parody, is that he did the dogs in a different colour and kind of exaggerated the nose size and put flowers all around it as well, so it's almost like a parody of it, but it still wasn't. And it went to court, and Jeff Koons was told that he couldn't use the fair use slogan for it, and was ordered to pay $367,000. He sold 3 for $367,000, but he was awarded, Rogers was awarded a large, substantial amount of cash, and he actually got the 4th sculpture out of it, which was then delivered to America, to Germany, sorry. And the copyright says UK state that a typical permitted use would be within an education and purpose of an examination, so that wouldn't be covered as copyright. With the Jack Conte stuff that we've just played, there's no copyright, we don't have to have a copyright for it. And if the copyright from the work that you copied is significantly different, then it will have actually its own copyright, as opposed to like a fair use or whatever. Even though fair use doesn't really exist.
So yeah, if you're going to try and remix legally, you need to sort of know what copyright is. In a nutshell, it's an exclusive set of rights that the law gives owners over their creative works, so no one else can sort of just nick it for their own. But in order to remix, you need a separate sort of, I don't know if it's like a license, but it's a master use right, which is all the sample stems you use come under that right. Now, if the artist sent you a track to remix, that would be sufficient permission to create a derivative work of it. But the complications is who actually owns the mix after you've remixed it, because the master side of the copyright is every stem you've taken from the original track, but if you combine that with stems that you've made fresh yourself from scratch, the ownership's not quite obvious. So what a lot of people do nowadays is pay like a flat fee. So you get given, like Scream did it for LaRue's In For The Kill. When he remixed that, he got paid, I think it was £500 to do that. And normally that covers the royalties that it make back anyway, because it's not, you don't get much back, but that went massive and he missed out doing it that way. Theoretically, you then own part of the new master and or publishing rights, so technically you should be getting some money for it, but because of the flat fee, you only get a little bit, so most people just do it illegally, and that's why you see a lot of stuff on YouTube and stuff. But that's how you do it legally.
Right, the copyright notifiers, like, copyright, you simply got the text rights composing as simple as that. And it still allows you to create control, so you've got nice little bonuses for that. Problem is though, it does restrict. Like with Jack Conte's, the reason why that's legal because on YouTube, I think it's of 2010, you're allowed to remix on YouTube legally. It's like, he's messaged me up, I emailed him.
Yeah, there's a copy of the email. The lady says, in terms of publishing samples, there's infrastructure in place where publishers can claim content of their own on YouTube, which is exactly what happened with his remix. Daft Punk Skrillex publishers claimed his remixes as their own content, which allowed them to run ads over the top in order for them to get paid. Because they have the tools, which makes them, they don't have to say, well, we're going to sue you for X amount of money. We'll just put loads of ads over it, and if it gets a lot of hits, we'll make our money that way. So it didn't really, it allowed Jack Conte to carry on being creative in his own way, as well as kind of finding a loophole as such in the copyright laws.
It was like, but not everyone's successful. Like there's 2 DJs, one from Perth and one from San Francisco, which remixed American Idiot. Green Day put a message out saying they enjoyed it, but their record label still sent a cease and desist. And it's like, same with like, as I stated here, music is eventually going to get copied by artists, like George Harrison's My Sweet Lord, which was in 1970, and He's So Fine by the Chiffons in 62. There's an 8-year gap. And Harrison got done for plagiarism when he read that by accident. So there's eventually that happened. Like latest one would be One Direction and Barbara O'Reilly. How they sound very similar.
Right, now we get on to fair use. Right, we have the official United States copyright law up there. But in a nutshell, fair use is effectively the right to copyright a portion of some copyright, no, to copy portions of copyright work, even without permission of the artist, as long as you stay within a set parameter, such as using it for education, to comment on, to criticise, or in parody form. And there are a few factors in determining it is fair use, such as like not taking a substantial amount of work, transforming it in some way, and not harming the copyright owner in the process. Well, this is quite a difficult one to enforce because it's a case-by-case analysis. For example, in Bridgeport versus Dimension Films, the court decided 3 notes lasting 2 seconds in a piece of music for 100 miles and running were stolen from Get Off and were not fair use despite being altered, like pitch shifted and then looped throughout the track. It sort of features 5 times and lasts like 7 seconds in all. But they decided that wasn't fair use purely because the owner of the music didn't think so. So it's quite subjective. Can't really be enforced as a proper sort of copyright measure. So we move on to Creative Commons, which is effectively a non-profit organisation that allows the sharing and use of creative works through like free legal tools. So you can still operate within the confinements of the law, but you don't have to tie yourself down with like a full copyright license or anything. You can sort of like allowing music or whatever you're doing, whatever you're sharing through Creative Commons, to be shared links and sort of moved around whilst you still taking credit for it. So they offer like 6 different sort of license terms that start quite loose, which allows other users to remix, tweak, build on, and do what they like with the music, even for commercial value, as long as they're still referencing the original author. At some point they can still make money out of it, they can still go through it. And then they have the more restrictive ones, which literally just allow the downloading and sharing as long as all credit goes to the artist, and you can't make any money off of it or anything. So you can pretty much just link it on Facebook or something. That's about as far as you can go with that license.
You haven't got too much longer.
Yeah, a little example of remixing sort of being pushed more into the mainstream. There's now a festival in place called the Remix Festival, which is like, it's an all-round arts festival funded by Brooklyn Art Council. But the first one was endorsed by Moby and Ableton, so it's already got like names behind it. But effectively, it celebrates remixing, fair use of tracks, and they've managed to construct the entire festival around reworking existing works. And it's in its 4th year now.
So basically our conclusion is that copyright, it restricts creativity unless you put basically, unless you place it on YouTube where you can get around it to an extent. As Billy said earlier, most music is already plagiarised in one form or another, so the remix will always be around. The copyright benefits people that don't own, that do own the copyright. So basically, if an artist doesn't own it, they're not going to reap the rewards that they actually truly deserve, because their record label own the rights or not. And because the music industry is rapidly changing due to like social media, digital, the copyright laws are constantly being pushed out of date or bent around just to manipulate them so works can be released and published. That's it. And there's some of our references.
Lovely. Well done. Thank you very much.